Hey guys, so I wanted to do a video on how to do sand casting. It's actually not as scary as you think. I remember I bought my kit and it took me forever to use it because I was so nervous and didn't know what I was doing. And anyways, so I wanted to show you the kit that I got through Rio Grande. I think that's how you say it, or Grand. I don't know. So I wanted to show you. So the kit is all of this. It comes with the ring, the 2 rings, and it has instructions on how to use it. So there's a few things that you'll need. You will need Borax, which you can get from Rio, and I'll put a link. And then you'll need this kit, and it actually comes, I've never even watched it, but it comes with a little DVD to show you how to do it. And then you'll need a Crucible, and I got this off of Rio as well, and it had 2 sizes. I used the smaller one because I'm only doing small stuff. And then this is the sand. It has like an oil in it, and so that's why it sticks this way. And you'll want a metal ruler. I don't recommend using wood. It will just kind of get stuck on the wood. So you'll need that, and then you'll also need like a knife or a pocket knife, some blade that's super sharp and small, a brush, and something to poke holes with that's about this size. And I'll show you why. And then, let's see, I have my other stuff in here. And then you'll need this, which this helps keep the sand when you put these 2 pieces together from sticking. And I'll show you that and how that works. And then the sand comes with the kit. And then you'll want 2 gloves. I got these off of Amazon, and they're just rated for a high temperature. And then you'll want like a charm or something that you plan on casting. And then I also recommend having a mask because it's pretty fumey when you heat up your silver, especially when you're using borax, because borax is highly toxic. So it's super important to do that. And then I have my little Smith torch. You can get like a bigger tip for something like this, but for this video, I am going to use just my propane tank because my flame on this one is a lot bigger, and so it's easier to heat. So anyways, let's get started. Okay, so here I have some clean sand. I carved out all of my previous one that was all burnt from my last project, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of sand since I've been throwing away some of the burnt sand. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do, this is the piece that I plan to duplicate. It's a charm, and what I'm going to do here is chop up the sand, and you want to do it pretty fine. Okay, so I have it chopped up. I do prefer doing this on a table mat. It makes it a little bit less messy. It is very messy though. So with the rings, I'm going to take the male part and I'm going to compact this sand into it. And this is best to use a hammer to make sure that it is really well compact, and I'm just going to keep adding on here until it is nice and full. going to swipe on the top all the excess. See, so it's nice smooth top, and then this is where the jeweler talc comes in, right here, see? And I'm going to just dab a tiny bit on, and I'll take a brush and I will move that around. And this will just kind of help keep the charm that I'm going to be casting from sticking when I'm ready to take it out. So I'm going to push it about halfway in. All right, and then now I'm going to take the female part of the ring and put it on. And this is where it comes into play with the lines that are on here. I'm going to align them as perfect as I can. And now also I'm going to put a little bit more of this on here. That's important because it'll keep the sand that I'm about to add from sticking, so it'll come apart nicely. All right, start adding the sand, compacting. All right, now swipe the top. Nice and clean top. And as you can see, this gets really messy. Sticks to you. All right, so now my piece is almost ready. Now I'm going to pull it off. Do not twist, just pull apart. So there's the impression of the charm, and the trick is getting the charm out now. You don't want to go. Got that. All right, so this piece here, that's the back of the charm, and it doesn't matter what it looks like, right, on the back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it through the center. And I do it kind of slow because I don't want to move too fast. And you don't want the hole to be too small or too big. I found that this little Dremel piece that I never use, the end of it is a perfect size, because if you have it too small, the silver can't go through. All right, so now what I'm going to do on the back, see, some of it popped out when I pushed a hole through. I'm going to take my pocket knife and I'm going to create a funnel. And you don't want it to be too deep where it's going to ruin the back. Like if you do it too deep, it'll just like all fall apart. So just the right thickness, but you do want to get kind of close because then the silver can drop through. All right, and then I'm gonna stick this through again just to kind of clean it out. I do like to use my brush to clean out sand. All right, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to create air pathways for when the silver goes through. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pocket knife And usually you do, it just kind of depends, like 3 to 5 little air pockets. So I'm going to cut through 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's little lines going across. And then I have a little pick that I like to use that's a smaller hole, because you don't want these to be huge holes. They just need to be small. So I'm going to, where the end of the line is, I'm going to stick this through on all of those spots for air to come through. All right, I'll show you. So that is what it looks like. And so now what I want to do is go through, take my brush, and just make sure that it's all clean, like any sand that's flaked off. Clean it. All right. And sometimes you might want to go through your line again, because sand will get clogged in there. All right, and then I'm gonna go in the back, kind of clean it up again. With my brush, where the funnel is, because some sand went down there when I was making the air pockets. All right, so make sure that this side is clean. And now I'm going to put both of the pieces together. And I will align them up, try to get them as perfect as possible. And now we are ready to heat some silver and pour it in. Okay, so I got set up here. This is just some scraps of silver, and you want to have whatever thing that you are casting, you want to have like double, triple, probably just double, in size of silver. You want it to be also like heavy enough that it'll drop down, you know, because if it's too light then it won't drop down in the funnel. So I think that's plenty. And now I have my borax right here. You can't see it, but I will be pouring some in. It kind of flakes out like snow. So that's why it's important to wear a mask. I'm wearing a pretty thin mask right now, just so then you can still hear me. And I decided to use my little Smith torch because my other torch is super loud and you won't be able to hear me. I put my glove on my right hand so I can grab this. Just extra precaution here so I don't get burned. All right. So what the borax does is it kind of like, from my understanding, it cleans out the silver, because it does get dirty. It has a hard time balling up. The louder the sizzling noise, the hotter, because I'm adding more air. Alrighty. So I'm just going to start heating this silver up. I know it's kind of hard to see in the video, but this is as close as I can get the camera. But once my silver starts turning red, I just dab a little bit of borax in. See, it kind of goes up like it's snowing. So it's really important that you wear a mask because borax is super toxic. It's not good for you. Alright, and I'm just going to get closer here so it'll melt, get hotter faster. And I'm just going in circles, trying to distribute the heat. As you can see, it's getting pretty red. It hasn't melted yet. It is quite a bit of silver, so it's going to take a while for it to melt. And see, now it's looking like super shiny and melted. You can't really see it in the video, but it's like metallic, you know? And so what I need to do is, it doesn't look like it's quite up to temperature, but when it starts to get all that metallic-y look, means that it's getting closer to being hot enough. And that's when when you think it's ready, it's usually not ready. You want to count, when it looks super metallic-y, you want to count to about 30 before you dump it. Alright, I'm going to move these because that's a bad idea. There we go. Now I'm just going to get really close to this funnel here that I created. I'm going to keep my temperature on it. And as soon as I'm ready, I'm going to dump it in fast. There we go. Be very, very careful. Everything is extremely hot. So I just used my glove. Well, I get my second glove. Pull it apart. Some people wait. I'm an impatient person. So I just get my heavy duty gloves on. You can see in here the face of the owl. I'm going to just push it through. And I'm going to take the piece and put it in the water, and that'll cool it down really fast. So just make sure when you're done that you take the knife and you carve out all of the burnt stuff and throw it away, and then you can reuse the rest of the sand. So I took it out. Here's the base. This is what it looks like since it went through the funnel and has that excess silver. Anyways, you can just saw that off or cut it off and then you sand it down and make it look good. But yeah, that's all that there is to sand casting. You really just need to be patient when you're heating up the silver until it gets up to temperature. But just always make sure that when it does look ready, you count to 30 and then it's ready. Because if you do it too soon, it's not gonna be hot enough. And then also if your funnel isn't deep enough and the hole isn't thick enough, then the silver has a hard time going through. And if you don't have enough silver, the silver's not heavy enough to fall through the funnel. So it really only takes a couple times to get the hang of, but it's a great introduction to learning the concepts of casting and doing small little things.